आप सभी का स्वागत है पहाड़ी ट्यूटर चैनल में। मैं हूं अक्षत बिष्ट। जैसा कि आपको पता है, हमने इस चैनल पे इंडियन कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्ज़ाम के लिए एक हॉलिस्टिकल प्रिपरेशन स्टार्ट की है। जैसा कि आपको पता है, हमने पॉलिटी सब्जेक्ट से स्टार्ट किया था और हमने पॉलिटी सब्जेक्ट में बहुत सारे आर्टिकल्स के बारे में पढ़ा, शेड्यूल्स के बारे में पढ़ा, पार्ट्स के बारे में पढ़ा और वेरियस क्वेश्चन प्रैक्टिस भी करी। उसके बाद हमने इकोनॉमिक सब्जेक्ट को स्टार्ट किया है, जिसमें अभी तक हमने मॉनेटरी पॉलिसीज़ के बारे में पढ़ा, मनी के बारे में पढ़ा और आरबीआई के बारे में पढ़ा। और वैसे ही आज टुडे वी विल लर्न अबाउट द इन्फ्लेशन। Inflation, basically inflation means when there is a sudden drop in your economy, when when the price of goods increases or maybe it can be decreases, that it is called inflation. It is very hard or very surviving situation for a country when there is an inflation, and it affects the individual most. Okay, so inflation is a consistent and appreciable rise in, wait a second guys, rise in general prices. In other words, inflation is a rate of which general prices of level of goods and services rise and consequently the purchasing power. It means the purchasing power of your currency will decrease. That is an inflation. Now we will learn about types of inflation based on demand and supply. Demand pull inflation. Demand and supply play a crucial role in deciding the inflation level in the society at all point of time. For instance, in demand is high for a product and the supply is low, the price of product increase. It means, let me explain you with an example. If you going to buy something and the demand, if the demand of a product is high, then its price automatically get elevated. It means that it is an demand pull inflation. When the demand is high, the price is also high. Okay. Now cost pull inflation. The cost of raw material, other inputs rise. Inflation in result increase in wages, paid labors leads to inflation. Cost pull inflation means if there is an increment or you can say increase in the price of raw material or labor charges get increases, then automatically the price of product is also increases. That is also called inflation. Which inflation? Cost pull inflation. Now we will learn about types of inflation on the basis of speed. Okay, crippling inflation or low inflation. Basically, crippling inflation is a type of inflation which is visibly slow and but within a year it rise slowly with a period of time in 1 year. Okay, and you can see the change in economy, 3% drop or 3% plus. Anything can happen. Crippling inflation is a slow moving and very mild. The rise in price will be perceptible but spreading over long period of time. It means the price slowly increasing but at very long period of time. Okay, that is crippling inflation. Now walking inflation. This is also like a crippling inflation, but in this inflation you not see that the price are slowly moving toward upward or downward. In this you will see the price are just normally high, touching the wall, touching the ceilings. Okay, but the rate of inflation is the rate of inflation is in single digit. Okay, in both. Now running inflation, when the rise in price, like running of a horse, speed of 10 to 20% per annum, it is called running. It means your inflation rate moving very fast in a year. It can be 10%, 20%, 30%. Okay. Now galloping inflation. This is a very high inflation running in the change of double digit or triple digit. It means the change in the inflation level is in 10%, 200%, 100%, 300% in a year. Okay, hyperinflation, when the inflation, when your economy get the losses of millions and trillions, that is hyperinflation. Okay, now we will learn about types of inflation on the basis of inducement. Credit inflation, when the banks are liberal in lending credit, the money supply increase thereby. It means when banks offers you a great interest on credit cards and they will say that we will provide this service just buy our credit card, then people attracted by them and they buy that credit card and the money supplies get immediately boom. Then is also a phase of inflation, when there is money, when there increase in the money supply. Okay, now currency inflation, the excessive supply of money in circulation. It means money in hand, people have more money in their hands, that is also an inflation. Then the price of goods automatically hyped. Okay, deficit induced inflation, the deficit budget is generally financed through printing of currency by central bank. It means when central bank printed notes uncalculatedly without calculation, then that is also an inflation. Okay, that also caused inflation. So now we will learn about tax induced inflation. Increase in indirect tax like excise duty, custom duty, GST. It means if the government increase the tax of on indirect taxes, then the price of goods automatically elevated, then that it also called an inflation. Okay, now scarcity induced inflation. Scarcity means कमी किसी चीज़ की. The scarcity of goods happen either due to fall in production or due to hoarding and black marketing. It means sometimes there is a climate issue or some other issues, a manufacturer doesn't able to manufacture the products, or maybe there is a black marketing. It means someone is locking many as good they can just to increase the price of product. If there is not availability of product, it's automatically gets hyped or increased, then that is also an inflation. Okay, now profit induced inflation. Profit induced inflation is a type of inflation if a manufacturer want to earn or become a greedy, and they make sell the product in a higher price for their own profit. That is also an inflation. Now cause of inflation. Okay, now we will learn about the main cause of inflation are follows. Increase in money supply. If there is an inflation, the money supply also get increased. Money supply is called to decrease. Inflation is caused by the increase in supply of money, which leads to increase in aggregated demand. The higher the growth rate of the nominal money supply, the higher the rate of inflation. It basically means it also effects on in money supply. Inflation effects on money supply. It means if there is an money inflation, then people don't buy products and don't buy expensive products basically. Then there is an decrease in money supply or money running of money in our economy. That is also an bad for our economy. Increase in consumer spending. The demand for goods and services increase when they are given credit to buy goods to earn on higher installment. It means if customers get you can say that a best option, or they get loans and EMI options, then they buy more and more things. That also cause inflation, because then demand increases and price also increases. Now increase in export. When there is when will our export increases? When our money is depreciated, the export is automatically rises, but import decreases. Then is also an inflation. Repayment of public debt. It means government repaying the public debt which is pending for so long time. That also increase the money supply, and if money supply is increases, the inflation or price of goods also increases. Deficit financing. Deficit financing means when the expenditure of government is more but the earning of government is less. That is deficit financing. That also lead to inflation. Cheap money policy. Cheap money policy means making money available to trade and industry at cheap. It means you are government providing loans at very low interest to companies, and the company don't and companies want their profit also, and they don't use it as an benefit. They just want to make their own profit, but don't make beneficial to the customers. Okay. Cheap money policy lead to increase in the money supply, which rise the demand for goods and service in economy. Okay. Increase in disposable income. Disposable income are basically those income which is in your hand after deducting all the taxes. If the taxes are less, in your hand there is money is more. Then the money supply is also get increases. That also lead to inflation. Increase black acid and activities. It means black money, or you can say जो लोगों के पास पैसा जमा करके रखते हैं, जैसे corruptions के पैसे, that also lead to inflation. Now, effect of inflation. Who will get affected by inflation? Debtors and creditors. Basically, debtors are those who get the loans, and creditors are those who provide loans. Let me explain you with example. If a person getting loan of 40,000, okay, and he have to pay him after 1 year that 40,000, and then the debtor, and after 1 year he will pay him 40,000. Okay, 40,000. But do not. But there is a period of time of inflation, and he do not calculate the inflation rate. Just provide a loan just provide that 40,000 to creditor, but creditor don't get benefit from it because there is inflation. They do not fix the, उन्होंने मतलब मिलाया नहीं, they do not manage all the inflation rate and then give money to him. मतलब जैसे मैंने 40,000 रुपये लिए और अगले साल मुझे उस 40,000 रुपये उसको वापस देनी है, और हमारे जो 1 साल का पूरा टाइम लैब था, इसमें इसमें इन्फ्लेशन आ रखा था, और तो उसने उस इन्फ्लेशन के रेट को बिना फिक्स किए, मतलब उस इन्फ्लेशन को बिना एडजस्ट किए, सस्टेन किए, उस मनी को वापस दे दिया. तो उसके लिए तो वो घाटे का सौदा हुआ, क्योंकि उसको जो इन्फ्लेशन हुआ था उसका भी तो उसको चार्ज मिलना चाहिए था, बट उसको मिला नहीं. So that also cause an effect to the creditor. Okay. On employment, it increase. If there is inflation, then there is unemployment also. Okay. On importing of, because your money is depreciating, your purchasing power is very low, then you will not able to import the products. Okay. On export will automatically increases when there is an inflation. Okay. On trade balance, in the case of development, it also causes to the balance of trade. Balance of trade means the total transaction between the citizen of country and or international total transaction between them. It also caused by inflation. Okay. Now, fixed group income means who are daily wages worker also get affected by the inflation, as they don't get a money after fixing the inflation. They just provided a fixed money on the basis of their agreement without adjusting the inflation. Investor also get affected by the inflation when their rate of interest also get reduced. Effect on production rate also get when the inflation is very moderate, it act as an incentive to traders and producers. The profit due to rising prices encourages and induce business classes in increase their investment in produces, lead to generation of employment and income. It also inflation also affected production of the goods also. On exchange rate means forex reserve, forex मतलब foreign reserve. It's also effect on the forex reserve which they get interest. It means other country put their money in our country, just like for फॉर गेटिंग इंटरेस्ट। इट मीन्स कोई दूसरी कंट्री, वो हमारी कंट्री में पैसे लगाती है तो उसको इंटरेस्ट चाहिए, उस वो किस लगाती है? फॉर अर्निंग द प्रॉफिट। पर उस जब हमारे कंट्री में इन्फ्लेमेशन होगा तो वो उसके जो इंटरेस्ट होगा उसमें भी बहुत रिड्यूस होगा। So that is also an cause of inflammation. Now we will learn about the how we can measure, how we can control inflammation. Okay. Some important monetary policy. Basically, monetary policies are applied by RBI, Reserve Bank of India. Okay. Fiscal policies are used by governments and other measures. Okay. Now, monetary policy. The important method of controlling inflation is monetary policy of the central bank or RBI. Central bank, who is our central bank? RBI. They increase bank rate which they provide loan to banks, sell government securities and open market. That you also called open market operation. High cash reserve ratio. Cash reserve ratio is that which a bank should put deposit some amount of money in the RBI, that is cash reserve ratio. And statutory liquidity rate. Statutory liquidity rate is a RBI mandate to the banks that he have to put some money in their deposit. Consumer credit controls. It means that they can work on the interest of the payment. High margin of requirement, high repo rate and reserve repo rate. Repo rate are those in which bank give loan to the RBI give loan to the banks, and reverse repo rate is that in which RBI take loans from banks. And fiscal measures. Fiscal measures, fiscal policy which basically are applied by governments. The fiscal policy is now recognized as an important instrument to tackle an inflationary situation. The major anti-inflammatory fiscal measures are following: a reduction of government expenses. It means government can reduce their expenses for the to tackle the inflammation. Public borrowing. He can borrow money from public to control the inflation. Enhancing taxation, it means he can improvise the taxation system. And surplus budgeting, he can also make the policies and good budget system to tackle the inflammation. Increase in saving, he can increase the saving by giving the best interest to the citizens so that they interested in savings. Other measure to increase production or wages and price control. This is also other points. Now some other terms. Okay? Deflation is basically called, in simple language, when there is production is very high but the demand is very low, then automatically the price of that product is also get reduced. That is deflation. Okay. This deflation, the essential feature of deflation is falling price, reduced money supply and unemployment. Through falling prices, desirable in time of inflation such as follows should not lead to the fall in the level of production and employment, but the price if fall from the level of full employment, both income and employment will be adversely affected. Stagflation. Stagflation is a combination of stagnant economic when the economical growth is stuck. That is stagflation. Disinflation is a type of inflation in which that is the rate of inflation margin is very small. That is also a fiscal policy. You can say that is a policy used by government or RBI to control the inflation. It means he reduced the price of goods to normal prices. Okay. Inflation in India. India calculates its inflation by two price indexes. Okay? In India, we calculated our inflation by WPI, wholesale price index. Basically, wholesale price index is an average of product at wholesale or manufacturer in a week. That is wholesale price index. Okay. Now, consumer price index. Consumer price index is that average price of a product at consumers. That is consumer price index, and this is monthly. We calculate CPI monthly, remember this, and we calculate wholesale price weekly. Okay. And just go through with this WPI measures and basic. Okay. Now we will learn about some business cycles, how our economy, some other terms related to the economy. Okay. A business can just read this also. Read this. Okay. In this basically this is the how our economy, how business cycle runs. Just let me read for you. Okay. A business cycle refers to the oscillation in aggregate economic activity, particularly in employment, output, income, etc. It is due to inherent contraction and expansion of element which energize activities in nation. Fluctuation or periodic difference in intensity changing it calls. Basically business cycle is that how our economy changing day to day. That is business cycle. Now there are few terms in our business cycles. Are first, boom, when the sudden growth of economy, that is an boom. Okay, boom in our market. Just go through it. And recession, it is a time period when there is an inflation, that is called recession. Okay. And depression, when the recession stay for many years, that period is called depression. Okay. Now recovery phase is a phase when we recover. It is a phase after recession, that is called reflation. When our GDP growth is increasing gradually, that is recovery phase in our business cycle. Okay. And tomorrow we will learn about economic planning in India, and we will learn about all the 5-year plans also. So that's all for today. Thank you.